Hi, let's take two. It's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. Sunday night, Valentine's. It is 8:30 p.m. ish Eastern time. Yay, it's working now. Okay, we just restarted it because the chat wasn't working on the other one. We have a nice little list so far. I hope everybody's doing well. I was busy hanging with my family in my bun today. So I kind of wanted to do another little, send some energy out and some healing out to people again at the beginning of this, because I think it's kind of a nice way to start out the evening. Excuse me. I also want to remind people, I'm not a doctor, a lawyer, a therapist, or a financial advisor. If you need one of those, please seek those. Any and all decisions you make in your life are yours and yours alone. This is for the purposes of entertainment only, is in accordance with law, because like in states like New York, there are fortune teller laws. So I'm CYA, baby, cover, or CMA, cover my ass. Okay, Eva, I'll check the PayPal in just a second. So I know a lot of people get kind of down and sad and lonely on Valentine's Day, this lovely Hallmark holiday, which was really about a bloodbath. But it seems silly. I think that more than anything, you should just celebrate all the forms of love around you. They come in all forms. As simple as a stranger holding a door for you. This is a form of love. It is not romantic love. It is not love that's going to last forever, but it is a form of love and kindness. So the minute you can start recognizing all forms of love that are around you, you start to see more of it in your life and stop feeling so lonely and disconnected from the world. And remember, you can be in a relationship, and if you haven't healed all the crap within you that you grew up with and that stuck with you and the trauma, you can get into relationships and feel even lonelier in a relationship than you did when you were on your own. So remember that. Hello, Devery. I'm glad you joined us. It's good to see you. Yes, if you pay, your question will be on tonight's stream, but I ask that you stay here with me so that when I ask the back and forth, because sometimes I go, does this make sense? And all of that good stuff. But welcome, and thank you for joining us, Will. But yeah, if you, it's like the first time viewer, long time listener, just kidding. Yeah, I answer them tonight. You'll be on the list because there's not a whole lot of people here, so we'll get through them. I do want to send out a little bit of energy and some healing and love and stuff, because I think that is needed. I just think sometimes people need a little extra. So let me just update the list real quick, and then we'll do that and then get started. I hope everybody is well. So after KK, I have Eva for a question as well. That's all I have so far. Let me just close something else. Sorry. Give me look at faces and stare at my thing. Oh, that's very sweet of you, Allie. Allie said that she that love, is agreeing that love comes in all forms, and that she gave chocolate to her friends and brother. And a lot of them are not in relationships. So she wanted them to feel loved too. Hi, Patricia. Okay, hold on. We'll get to that in just a second. So I want everybody, because I really believe that everybody has the power to send energy and healing and love. You're welcome, Will. So I want you to close your eyes with me, and I want you to focus on, I know that there's Starry Sky could use some healing. Miss Mary, who's in Ireland, who sometimes is able to catch on if she happens to be awake, but she's been recovering from COVID. She said she's sort of starting to not feel like she's going to die from it. It really does knock you on your ass. It really does hit your body hard, and it takes a long time to recover from it for some people. So I know I felt pretty awful for a whole month. And my smell is finally coming back, where citrus for a long time tasted very metallic-y and weird to me. It just wasn't. So I was decided to manifest that it was healed and done and whatever. So let's send out some healing to her. Let's send out some healing to, I think, and just love in general. Deborah, we sent you some last week. I hope you felt it. Sending you some again this week. And anyone else who wants to join on board, just welcome the love and the healing. I don't need your name. We'll just request that the universe work the energy through us and send it to where it needs to go and to whom it needs to who needs to receive it. Okay. So we'll close our eyes. You visualize the light from the divine universe coming in through the back of your head, down through your shoulders, and coming out through your hands. You can visualize it as white light. You can visualize it as pink light, green light, whatever you want. Pink is love, green is healing, white is the all-encompassing light of the divine universe. And just send it with love. It does not take anything from you. It just moves through you. You are just a vessel, and it can work on you as it's moving through you. Okay? So we'll close our eyes. We'll take a nice deep breath in our nose. Exhaling out our mouth, and we welcome the divine universe and the energy and the healing. And we ask that you send this energy healing out to the divine, out to the universe, out to those that are listening, that are sharing with us, to my regular subscribers who are unable to be here, to those that might need to receive, or to those that they wish that healing and love be sent to, so that they know that we are all interconnected. We are all a part of this one divine universe, and we are all deserving of this love and this healing in this moment and in all moments. We thank you and love you. Amen. And so it is. Amen. Hello, Shar. All right, so you got your apartment approval? Yay! Go Devery! Good stuff, good stuff. I'm so excited for you. Okay. All right, so Miss Patricia wants to know within how many months will I be purchasing real estate? Okay, sorry. I really just heard this month. So I know this sounds weird, but it might not be that you actually do through all the paperwork because you have to, but it feels like finding it this month, and it feels like on the 28th. So something like that, where I find what I'm looking for, and it's I put in the offer. So I don't know that that means you're closing on the property and going through all of that stuff, but it does feel like I actually find something very quickly. April seems significant as well. Are you thinking of buying 2 properties? So then it may be that the actual closing is in April. So I don't know if it's like New Jersey. It seems like it takes forever to close on anything. You're renting now and I need to give 2 months notice. Okay, so it could be like I put the offer in. You're still going to have to wait on all of the closing procedures and all of that stuff. So, but it feels like it's really, really quick. It doesn't feel like it's 6 months out. They said this month. So I'm happy to be wrong. Y'all know I'm okay with being wrong. That sometimes we interpret it wrong, but I heard it. So in Ottawa. Welcome from Canada. Did y'all get snow? I know my family's in Houston, and my mom's cute. She's like, I'm gonna have to drip my pipes. You're manifesting? Good. Manifest it. I was actually going to say, when I sent the energy out, I sent the energy out with the intentions too, as well, for all of you to be able to manifest everything and anything that you want. I think that's like that you deserve it. You deserve the happiness, the love, the whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. If you want it, should be yours, right? There's no reason. Oh, you're getting snow. Free and clear, no mortgage. I think that's amazing. Do it. Do it. Just blessing my water quick. I did on Saturday, I went and did a cheek swab test for Be the Match. There's a little girl in my town who, in the notes it says 3 years, but the woman who was doing the stuff said it's actually been 6 years that she's been looking for a bone marrow or stem cell match. And if I hope I'm her match, and if I'm not, because we're not ethnicity wise, we're not the same, but manifest that shit, right? But if I'm not, then maybe I'm the match for somebody else, because I believe in miracles. I believe miracles happen every single day, all the time, big and little. And maybe it's, I don't know, just maybe be willing to be a part of the plan for the universe to be a miracle for somebody else. Be willing to be a part of somebody else's miracle. So if you can, it's super easy. But if you're between 18 and 44, you can go to Be the Match. I think it's bethematch.com. Look it up. They'll send you a cheek swab. You do it. It's super, super easy. It's painless. Find a drive near you. Really, if they need stem cells, it's just like taking blood, donating blood. The marrow extraction is a little bit more involved. But I mean, this little girl has been in pain for most of her life. She has something that makes her bones be a little bit more dense, and they break easily, and causes vision loss and all of this other stuff. So be willing to be a part of somebody else's miracle. Okay, so Allie, you have a question. Starry Sky, 2 questions. Tracy, you're up. And really believe in manifesting. I love. So I have some people I'm mentoring, and I talk about manifesting even during our sessions too, just because sometimes we veer off a little bit. And I love hearing stories about their manifesting successes. And if you are into manifesting and you believe in it as much as I do, and on some of the boards I've gone to, it's like they're sort of kind of like, it's like, oh, the world is falling apart. How do I do this? Stay away from those boards. Because if you're trying to manifest, it really just puts you in like the wrong energy set. Just research manifesting successes and find people's stories that are not just the people that are like trying to teach you about manifesting and making money off manifesting, but look for other success stories from people who that's not like their end all be all. Allie, will I do good this semester? I'm worried because I don't remember much of anything, like how to write a paper. First of all, it's WRITE. Write a paper. Plus, I fell behind due to COVID. I'm getting so drained, so much schoolwork. Okay. So we can look at manifesting as part of your solution. I do feel like you'll do fine this semester. I think part of it is the stress and the fear. I think it's really important to schedule a nap into your day. I know you have a lot of schoolwork, but it's the feeling of, they're telling me this part, not the part I was going to tell you. I skipped over that because they're like, schedule a nap into your day. It's like, studying for 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, and like throughout the day is better than trying to jam it all into an hour and a half. You're not going to remember it. And then it feels like going over it several times. So they're telling me to tell you this because this is what was really helpful for me, was take my notes and literally just copy them over and over and over and over and over and over again. I would copy my notes like 5 or 6 times. Then I'd read them and then I'd see how, if it felt like I knew them, and then I'd copy them and copy them and copy them. It's a lot of copying. You don't learn as much as you're typing your notes. I don't know why. Well, I don't think you do. Don't feel guilty about taking naps, because here's the thing, you'll remember better, you'll absorb better, even if it's like just setting up a time for a 30-minute nap every day. That's okay. Just set up a time for you to nap every day. Right now, you may need it. Having COVID, it really does knock you off. And I also felt like after I had COVID, my memory wasn't quite right for a little while. Like I had a hard time like remembering words that I needed to remember, and but you hear me on here all the time where I'm like, what's that word I'm thinking of? Manifest having a better memory. Like just start saying, instead of like, I don't know how to write a paper. I easily remember how to write the paper. It comes to me, it flows naturally. You may have to do a little bit of research on like paper writing. That's okay. Get together with people, even if you're doing it over Zoom or something where you're like, hey, I need some tutoring, I need some help. I feel like this isn't psychic. This is like, this stuff seems like, pep talky. And it's okay to reread and reread and reread and do it and find your optimal time. So for me, I did not study well at late at night. If I woke up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I really did well. I did so much better than trying to study till 2 o'clock in the morning. I was much better at going to bed and just getting enough sleep, getting a good night's sleep, waking up rested and refreshed, and studying early in the morning and doing my work early in the morning. That's what worked for me. I had shit study skills when I went to college. Like I didn't know how to study. I just didn't. I just was a shitty studier. And it took me a while to kind of figure out what worked for me. So a lot of rewriting notes because it's just sort of like how it plugged into my doing the, the physical work of it and then reading it and sort of doing it that way versus just reading them over and over and over again. What was I going to say? I do feel like you'll do well. I don't feel like you're going to do as well as you want to. So I feel like I'm in the B range, maybe a C plus here or there, but also remember C's get degrees. So let's be fucking real on that one. Because the reality is most people when you're interviewing are not going to be like, I know you need to place well, I get that. But if you have one semester where it's kind of off, they'll be like, what happened? You're going to be like, I fucking got COVID. And they're going to be like, okay, cool. Like they'll get that. I feel like you'll understand it. But C's do get degrees. Remember that. You're going to do okay. I really do believe it. Breathe. Really and truly make sure you're rested enough and then also like when you go in to take a test, don't beat yourself up. Sit down. There's no need to have test anxiety. I guess I was fortunate because I never had it. It literally was like, well, I did the best that I could. Like I studied as much as I could. I'm going to do the best that I can when I walk in here and I'm going to do it. The worst comes to worst is you have to take a class over. And I know it's expensive and whatever, but it's like, always look at what's the worst case scenario. Can I survive worst case scenario? And most often people have this, like they go into these panic modes. I do this with like my best friend, everything when she's like, oh my God. And cause she has anxiety and we talk and I go, okay, worst case scenario, what happens? And I literally will pick it is usually the worst case scenario. And it's like, and we're both going, yeah, but that's not going to happen. So, okay, best case scenario. And you're probably somewhere in between there. So that's all usually doable and livable. But again, I do feel like B range, maybe one class where I get like a C plus, but I still feel like it's one that really doesn't matter that much. And I don't know why it doesn't really matter that much, but it feels like I do okay. Have someone read your paper. Like if you write a paper, don't do it last minute. So you can have someone read your paper and be like, help. It's okay to have somebody help you and say like, I need an edit, or do I need to include something? Does this make sense? Because sometimes when you're writing and you're editing it yourself, you miss very simple things, or maybe you need somebody to be like, hey, I would probably reword this or add another idea in because it just needs a little bit more meat here. And it's like, remember, it's always good to ask for help. But again, the psychic part of it tells me how I feel like you're going to do. And that's grade wise. I keep seeing really like B plus feels like where I'm at. So, I'll leave you with that. Starry Sky, 2 questions. Tracy and Shaheen, you have 2 questions. Starry Sky, our soul family is part of the same soul. Will a cortisone shot resolve my back pain? Yes to the cortisone shot is what I felt. It feels like almost like a muscle spasmy thing going on. And so either cortisone or sometimes they do Botox for certain things. So I don't know but it does feel like it will Sorry. Is it more in your, I feel like it's in my lower thoracic area versus being lumbar, because it feels like right here in this area versus like my, the lumbar is a little bit lower. Happy Valentine's Day, marijuana community. You said something one time after the vaccine. You said somebody died on stage. And then I was like, oh, I don't know. But I looked at it afterwards and they didn't die on stage. So I just want to clarify that. Lower, yes. Okay. Yeah, it does feel like that would work. But they may suggest something like Botox. Either way, either one works. It doesn't feel like I'm still in major pain and I'm miserable. It also feels like something about 2 years are on it. So it like works for 2 years and then maybe I have another thing in 2 years. But I also feel like if you did some light yoga, some like nice stretching, where you stretch because remember, everything is interconnected, right? So your feet all the way up kind of is really important and your neck all the way down. Hi, EF. I'll check in just a second. So it feels like making sure you're doing not the crazy, I'm going to push through in a 300-degree temperature room because I can really stretch. It feels like, Yoga by Adrienne, how hers are like, she's like, find what feels good. Doing that will actually help you long-term because it feels like it might kind of get a little hinky in 2 years ago, but it does feel like more muscular stuff than it does as an impinged nerve or something like that. And then, soul family questions. Sorry. So soul families aren't, okay. So, I have all of these like weird ideas that come into my head. So I was talking with someone about how, like, what if it was more like, okay, so if you think of like the manifesting concept of everybody is you pushed out, right? So, and then the idea, okay, sorry. So then there's also the idea that like, if you're always incarnating, right? And then the multiverse theory, how everything's happening at once, but we're always incarnating in different aspects to learn different lessons. Like what if we all really are just one thing with so many sections of consciousness that really you're me and I'm you. And like, what if we're just all the same? Because right, we're all part of one thing. This is my brain. This is my brain on wackiness. Not on drugs though. It was this concept that came to me where I was like, like, so there's the idea that we're all one, right? We're all interconnected. But then there's this idea, I don't know if any of you can be like, yeah, okay. Or if you just think I'm totally wacko and out there. But so that was the idea that came to me is like, what if we're just all really are the same being? We're just different sections of this consciousness. And so really, again, KK and I are the same person. And, I'm the same as anybody out there. We're like really, literally all the same person. And this is the way my brain works. And I don't even have to be having drugs to do this. So, in that theory, if you look at it that way, then yes, soul families are all one soul. But no, in the general, if you look something up, soul families are just a group of souls that incarnate together in the same plane of existence and incarnate multiple times through different planes of existence. You guys are crickets now. Like and subscribe. Come here for wacky theories. And then the other people were like, get to my question. Okay. Hang on. Let me log in and see who else is signed up. And then we'll probably just close the list because let's see. I've got, after Eva, I've got Devry, Charlotte, and Emily, EF. Will, are you going to ask a question? Because if you are, let's get that in before I cut you off. The other theory I had too was like, when people are like, when you talk about manifesting or you talk about energy and like, how can you read and we're so far apart, or you talk about manifesting and thinking that we're all really, really far apart. But when you think about interconnected, the way that vision that they gave me was like, on like the old school, like Excite Bike, on like the original Nintendo system, where it's like, you can see it's almost like really pixelated, like each little part. And so like the sky isn't really separate because it's just little blue pixels. Like, so everything is like connected. So all of the air in between us, while it appears to be distance, space, and everything else, there's the same energy that makes me up and makes up the air in between us, right? So everything is literally like a mass of energy. Nothing, there is no space or distance. It's all one mass, different densities. I know. These are things that come across my brain. It's okay. Get some sleep. Take naps. They're good for you. I even I've been really tired lately. And I was like, I think I'm having an adult tantrum. I need to go to bed. Because I was like, no patience yesterday at all. And my kids are looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I just said, because they'll come in and they'll be like, I love you. And I'm like, I'm trying to sleep. And I'm like, I've been in here for 5 minutes by myself. I love you too. Get out. Take naps. It's okay. Everybody needs them sometimes. Or even if it's just you're going in and shutting down for 30 minutes in the dark, turn off everything and just force yourself to lay there and chill. Okay. Sorry, Tracy, my question is for my boyfriend, Jordan. He was hoping you could tell him about what his future is like within the next 2 years or so. Does Jordan have a lot of anxiety? Because I feel like I'm like, I should put a necklace on, but I didn't have one I wanted to wear. Can you hear me rambling? Yes, he has a lot of anxiety. Okay. Does he also have TMJ? Like, does he grind a lot? Because if he doesn't have a bite guard, I would really recommend. And if he can't afford one through a regular dentist, my girlfriend of mine goes to the dentistry school of New Jersey to get hers. And she said it's actually the best bite guard she's ever had. Because remember, they're going to be teaching their students like the newest, latest, and greatest techniques and deals and have like all the newest stuff. Hi, Will. Okay, I'll look. You have the TMJ. I think he might grind or something. So, because I was asking specifically about him. So it might be something to look at. Even when he goes to the dentist can look at your teeth and tell if you grind. It's not a big, whatever. But, okay, let me just look at this question again. What does he exactly want to know for the next 2 years? What area do you want me to focus on? Because that can be a whole reading. That's not just a quick. Because the feeling, what they're wanting to talk about for the next 2 years is really focusing on him and rebuilding his belief systems and healing a lot of the stuff inside of him. Because a lot of like the anxiety and the teeth grinding and all of that and the stress and the constant worry and all of that is stuff that needs to be healed in order for him to move through his life in a little happier way. It also feels like there's almost like fear of abandonment issues on his part with you and like needing a lot of reassurance and love, and you're willing to give it. but you still feel kind of early in the relationship. And as you go through that, it might become more exhausting for him. So they're sort of saying, really, this is important for him to focus on this. Not sure if that resonates at all. Okay, so they said this, and this is like not, it sounds bad, but it's really not bad. So it feels like for the next 2 years, they literally said work is subpar and mediocre. But then, okay, so then he's like, as he's working on all of this stuff and all of this healing and this meatingness, he sort of kind of steps into a little bit more spiritual stuff. And you're sort of the catalyst for him to help him like kind of get a lot of this, because I feel like he's asking this question, right? So he's open to the idea of manifesting, because I'm telling you, I believe in manifesting. And it's this idea of like, after this 2 years of going, seeing things, because he starts to work on manifesting himself and seeing things start to kind of explode and expand in a really big way for him. So it's 2 years kind of mediocre, subpar, and then and moves into a better place. I'm not sure why you're asking about housing, because I actually feel like the two of you live together. That's my feeling. What do you say? What say you? I think that's what I want to say. What say you? All right. So after Will, Miss KK, we're going to go ahead and close the list. I like to keep these a little shorter. I feel better at the end of them. I want to keep them a little shorter. I don't feel a house purchase in that time. It might be right after the 2-year mark, but I don't feel it in that time. I feel like doing a lot of inner growth, and then like after the 2-year mark is when everything starts to kind of go. They're like beginning to spring of 2023. For a little while, yeah. It just feels like everything sort of, it doesn't. So I feel like what happens is, because I'm like, what stops him? And it literally feels like not wanting to buy just to buy, and the right thing doesn't open up, and and like him then going, let's manifest exactly what we want and wait for what we want to come, rather than just to buy for buying's sake. Like, say we're thinking we're going to start looking in 6 months, and when that 6 months comes up and that point comes up, it's sort of like, like you're looking at stuff and nothing's really open, and he's kind of been working on himself, and he's kind of going through this growing phase, and it sort of kind of goes, I kind of want to wait a little bit until this exact thing I want comes into play, like where I want, how big I want it to be, or how the setup wants it to be, whatever. That's my feeling. Miss Shaheen, you're up. Veronica, Nicole, you're up. You're welcome. I hope it resonates with him. Veronica, the girls are well. I don't know if you saw or whatever, but we got a bunny, and so they're just like in love with her. We've had her for 3 weeks now, and I took her to the vet on. We took her, the girls and I took her on Thursday, and they come out to the car and they bring her in, and bunnies are prey animals, so they are very nervous, and but she said, oh my God, she's so tiny. She was 1.9 pounds. She's very little. And they said, she's the cutest bunny I think I've ever seen. And she's so sweet. It's, I don't know. I'm telling you, I manifested this little sugar. She's very wonderful. She fits in, like, she's scrumptious and she's learning. She's teaching me a lot. Just learning about little things that I hadn't, like belief systems I hadn't like kind of really fully pulled out and healed. So I'm really enjoying her. All right, Laura, you can ask a question. Then you are the very last person, but you have to purchase your reading. But they're doing really well. I would love for them to go back and try hybrid, but I feel like there's not been enough teachers vaccinated yet to like keep them safe. And Jillian doesn't want to wear a mask she's just like, I'd rather stay at home. And I think Daisy's having fun. Like as soon as she takes a break, she's like, where's the bun? So, okay, hold on, Will, I'll get to you. You're like down the list. Okay. So Shaheen, let's talk. Sorry. Finding the right place. So literally all it is about finding the right place is putting your like wish list out there and manifesting it. And believing that it'll come to you. Are you looking like in the same neighborhood? Because they're like, oh, it's just around the corner. Like it's close by. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like it's on the market yet. So it may go on the market like March 1st, but it doesn't feel like it's on the market just yet. Yes, you're looking in the same place. Yeah, because they're like, it's just around the corner. They're showing me a more modern style building. And I feel like it has either like a rooftop or some kind of balcony on it. Cause I feel like, hang on, Will, what did I just read from you? Why did you retract your message, Will? Don't do that. Okay, Laura, then you have to get in line and wait. So I'm not answering yours just yet, okay? But I will. Don't worry. Shaheen, do you have a grandfather in spirit that smoked? Because all of a sudden I felt like a lot of cigarette smoke, and then it just was the feeling of a grandfather. So I don't know if it's that maybe the past tenant was a smoker or your grandfather was a smoker. I'm like not sure if I'm getting a crossover there. Anyway, his name started with an H, like Henry. I keep hearing that song. Oh no, it's Harry. Maybe Harry, named Harry. I keep hearing that "Adore You" song by Harry Styles in my head, like over and over. I don't know why. It doesn't feel like you have to, it's like sort of like just put it out there that you're going to get it. It's like you could even walk by it and be like, that's the one I want. But I just see it's like, I keep seeing like more of a modern building. So it feels like a newer building and it doesn't feel like a big one. It feels like maybe 6 units are in it. Not huge. Does this resonate with something around you? And the way they're showing it to me is more like an architectural drawing that's been like colored in versus being the physical building itself. Or I guess they would call it an architectural rendering. I think it's rendering. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Sorry, I just don't know if I find it. So there's really not, it doesn't feel like I have to do anything. It's like I can walk around and like walk around the neighborhood, and it's like right around the corner, and then just see myself living there. Like visualize it, see it, having it open up perfectly, being the amount of money you want it to be, being the space. It feels very like light, like a lot of light in the space. Hi, Blue. It doesn't feel like you have to do anything really. It's just knowing that it's coming to you, that it's right around the corner, and it's there. It's the amount of money you want. And I feel like it'll go on the market like March 1st. It doesn't feel like it's maybe on the market just yet. I don't know exactly when you're looking for, but. And then, are there any messages from my spirit guides? They said you need to have more faith in yourself and trust your own intuition more, because you are getting a lot. I do feel like my third eye is opening up. So pay attention to the little flashes that you get in your head before, like if you ask a question like, oh, where did I put this? I lost it, blah, blah, blah. Like they're showing you stuff and answering you right away. I've noticed lately, for some reason, that it's been like, I misplaced my tarot cards. I was like, where did they go? And I have a couple different decks, so whatever I can use. I have a Rider-Waite deck. I have this Light Seers, and the Light Seers one was I was trying to find. And I'm like, it's not where I would normally keep it, like either in this one little basket by my bed, or if I bring them down here. It's not there. It's not there. And then I realized that I had them down here. Like I got a flash right away. I was like, where is it? Just show me. And I saw my dryer, because I was like, I had been working with them down here, and I went to go do some laundry, and I set them down on the dryer, and I guess I forgot to bring them up. So they're sort of, okay, March 1st move if possible. So then maybe that's why the March 1st keeps coming out. So it might be, but it might not just be on the market just yet. It might be like a last minute they're putting it on the market. Just walk, I mean, literally it's around the corner. So it feels like walk around and look for a sign, look for a for rent sign, because it doesn't feel like it's, it might even be that it's like you see somebody standing there and be like, oh yeah, we're going to put it on the market, and be like, I'm interested. So it doesn't necessarily feel like it's through a broker. I don't know. It's like, it feels like a little bit like a by chance thing. So see yourself by chance walking by this. Could be word of mouth, something like that. But it feels like just take a walk through your neighborhood. I know that sounds strange, but take a walk through your neighborhood. Whatever is around the corner, because it's literally, they said around the corner, and it's not like around the corner like my best friend will go. It's around the corner, which means it could be within a 15-minute drive, and then past that it's just too far. So take a walk. And then they're talking about trusting your intuition and getting a flat, like trusting that. So for me, like I said, you'll get a flash. Start to like kind of follow those little leads. And I also feel like really paying attention to your dreams, because your dreams are pretty prophetic. And breathing more, because I feel like not breathing more, not taking enough in. I don't know what. I'm getting all kinds of comments on these different, I get notifications, and like my Spotify, someone like, I guess maybe one of my passwords at one point was like leaked somewhere, but my Spotify got broken into, and they're like, we noticed unusual activity. And now I go into my history. It's like all this stuff in Russian. Am I that interesting? Okay. So it just feels like paying attention to more of your intuition, because it's sort of like this feels like a really big blossoming period for you through the end of March, of like things kind of starting to like synchronicity starting to show up a lot for you, and starting like you're no longer able to ignore your own intuition and your own gifts. We are all intuitive beings. So anybody who says like, whatever, we're all, every single one of us, right? We're all a part of the same consciousness. So we are all capable of doing it. It's whether or not you want to. And they're sort of showing you this like really big blossoming period for you. So start paying attention to the synchronicities around you, and don't think like, oh, I'm crazy, or that's not really happening, or it happens to everybody, or it's just a coincidence. It's not. There's the universe kind of talking to you and keep pulling you in. All right, Miss Veronica. What's your question, Veronica? You're welcome, Shaheen. I hope it's helpful for you. Um, I think Nicole wrote her question. Can you please tell me what will happen between me and Jose comes back this year? And how did I know you ladies wanted to know about love? It's because I'm psychic. Just kidding. If you're here, right? Okay. All right. Nicole, this is what they're sort of telling me, and this is my absolute advice to you. So the potential is there for something to open up. However, you need to do like some speed work on yourself. The self-love, the sort of healing some stuff and believing. And so it's really important that you go into like a lot of those affirmations and a lot of the manifestation stuff. So Roxy Talk has a lot of stuff on this. There's a lot of people who do this. So it's sort of like acting as if doing the affirmations. And like, even if you go on her board, you'll see a million people. There's it's called like Black Moon or something like that, a Facebook thing. And they'll be like, I want this guy, but blah, blah, blah. And then there'll be all these people who go, you need to act as if. You need to like take him off a pedestal, put yourself on the pedestal, make him chase you. And there's affirmations for make him chase you. Like all of these things where it's like, basically stop acting like he's so amazing and that you're just like this little shrivelly, like think of in The Little Mermaid when Ursula, is her name Ursula? I think that's her name. She turns all of the mermaids and like she takes their gifts and she turns them into those little like wimpy little wormy looking things. Like that's not you. Quit thinking that that's you and he's some god. He's not. He's just a dude, right? And so take him off the pedestal and start like valuing yourself and setting yourself up like that you're worth him putting the effort and all of that stuff. Hi, Emily. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you have a great week too. I hope you're doing well. Wait, what's the song in The Little Mermaid? It just feels like that's what you need to do in the next few months because they're sort of saying it's a possibility. So it's not like it's a guaranteed, it's a possibility. And you just really have to like focus on you. August seems important. If you do the work on yourself, then it's there. The possibility is there, but you have to do the work on yourself because here's the thing. If you don't do the work on yourself, even if you get him, I feel like you'll push him away. Wait, I mentioned your mom having so it's like they're sort of saying like, do the work. Like you can make this happen. This is up to you. You are the determining factor in your whole life of how it goes. Oh, a heart issue. She has high cholesterol, doctor confirmed. Oh, okay. What are they going to put her on? Like, what is it like? Flap or something. Well, I'm glad that she found it. Roxy Talks is on YouTube, and then she's got her Facebook page. So on the Facebook page, what's helpful about that I don't necessarily like her Facebook, like the Facebook group. It's like the Black Moon Society or something like that. You can change your question, Veronica. I didn't even look at it yet. I think it's called Black Moon Society. You go on there and read what people write. It's hard for me because I'm like, oh, there's a lot of like where I'm like, well, it's only that way if you want it to be that way. Like but there's a lot of women on there and men too. There's a few men on there who are like, how do I get him? Like everything's like, and so you'll see a lot of like advice, like how to do affirmations and stuff like that. But Roxy Talks is on here, and she has on YouTube. It's just called Roxy Talks, ROXY Talks, and she's got a lot of stuff on specific person, which is the SP thing. Now, SP can be wanting a specific type of. It can be focused on your boss. It doesn't have to be romantically related. It can be about a friend, but most people do it as being a romantic connection. So it just feels like. Go and work on that stuff. Also do like self-healing affirmations. She's got all kinds of stuff on that. I just think it's really important to like see that you're worth it and you're worthy. I mean, I see all the really wonderful things that Nicole posts about you, and this is my best friend and she's the best. And like, so like you need to know that. You need to see yourself the way, like when you look at your best friends, you don't see like, oh, they're not perfect this way, or they don't, you're like, oh my God, I just fucking love them. This is my best friend. She's the best thing in the world. And so you sort of need to look at yourself that way. Like, again, I'll say this, I like my body's not perfect, but it's a pretty fucking badass body because it grew 3 babies and it got me through a shit ton of trauma and it's pulled me to this point in my life. And so I used to always be like, oh, but I have this, I have that, and it's not this, not that. I have big boobs, I have this, that, whatever. And I now just speak really kindly to my body. And it's like I'm getting more tone and in better shape than I ever have in my entire life. And I really think a huge part of that is like talking nicely to myself. Don't talk to yourself in a horrible way. Talk to yourself in a kind and loving and gentle way. Have empathy for yourself. You're a soul experiencing this really like crazy human experience. And I think it's a really magical and wonderful place. But shitty things happen in this really magical and wonderful place. So just be gentle with yourself. It's not easy being human. Hi, Mariana. One more question and that's it. Can be added and then that's it. It has to stop somewhere. I'm feeling generous on this Valentine's Day Sunday. Next time, get here on time. I'm kidding. Okay. So Miss Veronica, your question is what? Do you see me reconciling with my recent ex-boyfriend? You're welcome. I do actually. So I don't know if it's in 2 months' time what the 2 month significance is. So, but it feels like it takes a little bit of time, but I do. And like we kind of get back, hang out a little bit and slowly, but I do see a reconciliation happening. It doesn't mean you'll stay forever, but I feel a reconciliation. He said he's really stubborn. KK, if you want to ask your question, Eva, Devry, you're up. He is. Okay. So then that's just what I feel like. So I do feel one. Was it 3 weeks ago that you broke up? Is there a huge lag tonight? Like and subscribe. KK, when I asked about love for you, I'm waiting for Veronica to answer about did they break up 3 weeks ago? They go, she's not really putting herself out there. Like I feel like I'm kind of talking to people, but I'm being really super lazy about it. Not what's with the 3 week significance? Did something happen 3 weeks ago? Wait, you saw him in the street 3 weeks ago? He reached out a month ago drunk. Okay, so that's what that is. How long have you been broken up? Because there's a 2 month. So I don't know if it's in 2 months from now or there's a 2 month breakup and then we get back together. And I also want you to do, like, if you want to get back together with him, you don't have to do the manifesting thing. Start, like, go on Roxy Talks, you too, and look up manifesting an SP, and it's literally like creating it, rewriting it. He can't, like, a lot of people are like, they want an apology. Shifting what happened, bringing him back to you. He's back. He thinks about me all the time, all that kind of stuff. You stopped speaking in October. So it might be 2 months from now where you're back together. But it's like, go on there and look at manifesting an SP. Now listen, because I've talked about this with other people. It's not like I suggest these people, I'm like, they're perfect. They have no issues. They're the best person to teach this. I also like Joseph Alai, A-L-A-I is how he spells his name, but he pronounces it Alai. It doesn't mean that people don't have issues of their own. So keep that in mind. Don't put somebody who's teaching something up on a huge list. Everybody has their shit because they're human and they're having a human experience, right? That said, they do have some techniques that I like. There's also a woman, I haven't looked at so many of her stuff. The reason why I see a lot of the SP stuff is because of the people I've watched, and I know a lot of you guys are looking for someone. So I don't know about Mary Kate. There's a woman named Mary Kate. A lot of these people are on YouTube, and that's how I find them because I come across video suggestions. And her stuff I've seen on money manifesting and removing blocks and stuff like that. I also like listening to Abraham Hicks talks. Now, again, I don't put them up on them and be like, oh my God, they're the one. I cherry pick. And I'm like, that resonates with me. That resonates with me. I like that because I have to work past going, they have some shit to work out here. And I go, and if I don't agree with them, I'm like, yeah, I don't resonate with that. That's cool too. I'm not saying you have to believe every single thing that they're teaching, but sometimes you need to hear something because you need to hear a specific in a certain way. So cherry pick these people. Jake Ducey is another person that teaches stuff that I like. So I've said Jake Ducey, Joseph Alai, pronounced Ally. Roxy Talks I like. She has a lot of really good affirmations that are in the first person form, so it's good to just listen to them. And the woman I just discovered is this Mary Kate woman. So do those things. KK wants to know about love. So does that make sense, KK, when I'm saying to you about not really fully putting yourself out there? I don't know if I feel you, and it feels like there's someone swirling around, but I don't know if I feel you in a super serious committed relationship. It feels like there's someone where it's like, oh, we're just keeping it casual, but you're really actually monogamous. It's just the two of you. It just feels really easy, it doesn't feel that far out, but I don't know. Again, I'm not getting how you meet. So it could be an app, but it also feels like, again, I'm not really fully putting myself out there. Are you even on an app? Are you talking to anybody? When I say out there, I don't mean like in your life. I mean energetically near you. So like it's not that, like it doesn't feel like all of these things have to happen to make it happen. It sort of is like once I decide and like this is what's going to happen, it feels like bam, he pops into my life. And you're not on any apps, you're actually putting yourself out there, but you're asking about love. They aren't going to be delivered to your doorstep. They just aren't. So put yourself out there. I don't feel like, it feels like I keep feeling like closer to the fall. Like October keeps coming up very specifically for me. They keep giving you that same message. Mm-hmm. 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 You should listen. Okay. Yeah. So Eva, do you have a question? I'm leaving it at that, KK. Eva, Devry, Charlotte. Just a general reading. Okie dokie, artichoke. Eva, if you're around, you want to type your question while I'm doing Charlotte or doing Devry's, and then Charlotte, you're up. EF, you're up. Will, you're up. So they said she's doing okay. Like energetically, I don't feel like I'm really, really down, but I don't feel like I'm really up. I just feel like I'm kind of somewhere in the holding pattern, and that's okay. That's actually not a bad place to be because you're not really, 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 really down. And they sort of made me feel like she just needs to give herself a hug. Like I'm sending you an energetic hug. She needs to give herself a hug. It's that feeling of you need to be gentler with yourself and kinder with yourself, and don't have so many huge expectations where it's like you've always done the best that you could with the tools that you had, and you're sort of just now coming into this awakening. It literally feels like within the last 6 months, right? It doesn't feel like, it feels like coming into this awakening, and it's sort of like stopping so hard on yourself, like, oh, I should have known or could have known or blah blah blah. It's like, relax, be kind, you did the best that you could, you're where you're at, and that's okay, and it's exactly where you need to be, and you're moving on, and you're going to heal, and you're going to be in a better place. Please don't listen to all those people or in any of those voices in your head, not that you're crazy, but you know what I mean, the things that we say to ourselves that say that you're not worthy or you're not worth it and you're not, it's never going to get better and things aren't going to get better. You really change that inner dialogue. It's really super important. If you look at anybody who's really successful, they're very aware of their inner dialogue and how they talk to themselves, and they set themselves up for success every single morning and every single day. And they'll say that they did these things even before they were really successful. So it starts before the success happens, not after. Oh, that's really cool. Thanks for the suggestion, Allie. Also, if you're looking at a lot of healing stuff, I really do like Dr. Nicole LaPera. She's the holistic psychologist. She's really fantastic too, especially if you can't or don't have access to therapy. She is a qualified professional. So I would like to recommend her. Um, Also, don't get mad at yourself for being sad or crying, because it was literally like, be okay with crying, Devry. Be okay with, like, that's a cleansing and a healing thing. And you have to sort of process that energy out. Like, whatever emotions you're having, don't judge them. Just have them and allow them to process and move through you. They don't need to be judged. And they said, but you are doing better. Even if you don't feel like it, they said, you are doing better. And they're proud of you because it's also like, I feel like you decided this week to sort of pick yourself up a little bit and be like, okay, I can keep moving. I can keep going. Eva, you'll just do a general too. Changed your mind. Okay, sorry. They said, speak your truth. Eva, speak your truth. They said, wait, let me ask them how to say this again. They said, speak your truth to yourself and to others. So it feels like be honest with yourself. Don't be afraid to be honest with yourself, and don't be afraid to be honest with others. And also, like, don't, it's sort of like stop hiding behind the facade, stop hiding behind other things, stop hiding behind like maybe you'll like, not that you necessarily do this, but this is the best way for me to explain it. It's like I throw out all these, like, you look at people's Instagram or whatever, and it's like I have these perfect pictures and this everything's perfect and we perfect moments and we say the perfect things to each other. And you'll see this a lot today on Valentine's Day where it's like, oh, I love you, you're the most wonderful person in the world. And it's like, oh yeah, we just had a big fucking fight 2 days ago and we were screaming divorce at each other or whatever. Or you see all of these spiritual people and it's like everything's super, super spiritual that they write. And yet they're like not real about the fact that like I struggle all the time as a spiritual being. Like I will say this, like I get mad. Like I think that's why I like my Twitter the way it is, where it's like you'll see me write little comments here. That doesn't mean I'm not catty and bitchy with people, but it's like I get annoyed with political things. I don't get too much into it, but I'll like, it's not a spiritual thing that I'm typing. There might be a little thing here or there, but my Twitter is not a spiritual, like, follow all the things. In fact, I tend not to follow a lot of spiritual people on Twitter because half the people are not walking the walk. They're just spewing out shit and they're sort of saying like, just be you, quit hiding behind stuff. Just be you, because you're so much more inspirational and divine being yourself and the light that you are, rather than trying to live up to this idea of what you think you should be. And then they said, I took that deep breath. I go, and you're doing better than you think you are. So there is no need to hide behind what you think you are supposed to be. And then they said, when you're manifesting, quit limiting yourself. So it's sort of like you have all these little ideas of like how it has to happen or what you think should happen. And so like, and I've been guilty of this. So this is like why I think whenever I think that somebody is supposed to receive a message from me, it's because I may have been guilty of it. So I can go like, dude, I try to disarm it a little bit. The idea that this needs to come first and then this, like I want these 3 things. I want A, B, and C, but A needs to come first, B needs to come first, and they're like, but what if we think C should really come first? Because that's pretty kick ass. And that can be like brought to you like it's easier and in line. And if you're so stuck on it having to be this way, it's like sort of like muddies the gears and kind of gets stuck in the grooves. And they're sort of saying like, just go big and stop deciding how it has to happen and just be like, I want these things. You're bringing them to me. Cool. Like they're there. They're waiting for me. Great. Does any of this resonate with you? Oh, you got too into spirituality online and got confused. You don't have to be healed perfectly at all. At all. Just move. Literally, I was thinking about this in the car today where it was like, some days you literally just have to go, I'm putting one foot in front of the other. I don't know where it's going. I don't know how this is all going to happen. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I just need to like put one foot in front of the other, and that's it. And the thing is you're going to think when you heal one thing, right? If you have these triggers, like if you have past traumas and stuff, and you're going to think, I'm healed. And then something's going to come up and you're like, why the fuck was I triggered? So instead of thinking, why the fuck was I triggered? Think, hey, but I caught it a lot quicker and I didn't go off into the abyss with it. I just recognized that this happened because this is one of my triggers for my traumas, and like be gentle and be like, okay, this is going to happen. I may get triggered for the rest of my life by something, but I don't have to go into the abyss of it. And that's healing, right? So I've come a really long way, and that's healing. And look how much I've healed because I'm not going off into the deep end here. Be gentler, be kinder with yourself. Nobody's ever going to be 100% healed, because I think if you're 100% healed, then you don't need to be here. That's sort of part of the human stuff. So just be gentle. Like, healing is a process. It's not just a like, I hit the goal and then I'm there. It's like peeling away the layers. All right, I did that race. It said Eva's. Shar wants to know, is there something my spirit guides want me to know about connecting more with them? I bought tarot and been talking a lot with them as a first step, but I feel like something might be missing. Breathing and relaxing into it, they said, because I was like the first, like, where I'm like, whoa, I need to breathe. Breathing, relaxing into it, and then paying attention to the subtle stuff too. So as you're doing tarot, don't just stop with what the cards tell you. Go with what the extra stuff is. And initially it may be easier to read for somebody else versus reading for yourself, or reading like more generally. But they're saying like really like, then this is something that they will say over and over. You'll hear me say it a lot. Pay attention to the subtle stuff. Pay attention to the little stuff. Take a journal. This is a really good tip too. Write down every bit of intuition that you've ever gotten, whether you followed it or not, because even if you didn't follow it, you'll know whether that intuition was connecting in, and write it all down, because it's nice to have that evidence that you are connecting in. Stop dismissing the little things. It's something. Something I have my mentees do is I actually get them to the point where they're doing readings. It's not because they're necessarily going to become readers. It's because I want you to be so confident with connecting in with your own intuition that you can read for somebody if you want to. Because you need to trust that you're getting stuff. It's about yourself. Like, again, and I've said this before, like 99% of the time I'm using my abilities for myself. Where did I put those cards at? What's the answer to this? Like, I'm always, and they're showing me things and they're coming up with what's the best way to do this? How do I need to move through healing? And it's all the subtle stuff. It's the ideas. It's the how they pull my awareness to hearing a certain thing, or watching a certain video, or somebody speaking to me. They will work through any possible outlet to get to you and help you if you ask for it. We are often toxic towards ourselves. That's the being your worst enemy. So learn to heal that toxicity so you are kinder and gentler to yourself. The more you are kind and gentler to yourself, the more empathy you have for the rest of the people in the world, and the less that other people's shitty behavior bothers you, because you're like, hey, wait, that's really like about them. That has nothing to do with me. Okay, cool. You've been journaling a lot and realize you need to, set my phone off. Yeah, you need to use your intuition a lot more, because it's always missed signs. It's not about missing the signs. It's just not paying attention to them. Like change the thing of like, so then change it to, I always notice when my intuition is being honed. And it makes me pay attention. So one thing I want you to think about too is, because I had this come up for somebody I did a reading for where I felt this, and I go, okay, whenever you feel this pressure on your head, and it may be something else for you, that's a sign that the universe is going to have something psychic happen for you where you need to pay attention, because something intuition wise is going to come through as a message for you. I start noticing when I do this a lot with my lips that, like, oh, I need to pay attention because something's coming in. Like if I'm just out randomly in public, or if I start to feel like a little bit buzz of anxiety, that used to be the one I would get, that I needed to pay attention because something psychic was going to come through. I get less and less of those because I pay attention so much now. But look back at when something came through and you hit on it and you recognized it. Was there something physical that happened, a feeling you got beforehand, either excitement, nervousness, a flutter in your chest? Some people will talk about goosebumps. I get goosebumps and I feel like I know that I'm connecting with spirit, or chills, or you'll feel like somebody's touching your head or your hair stands on it, and there's something like that. So look for those things, because that's going to be their like knock on the door, we're coming in, talking to you. Okay, so the goosebumps are there sort of like, okay, we're ready to come in and talk to you. It doesn't mean you're going to always have that. It can be if you want to. I used to get a little bit of anxiety before I connected in. I don't get that anymore because I had like, whatever, I just know I'm going to connect in and I'm fine and I pay attention. But I do this a lot, right? I sit here like hardcore on Sunday nights and just read with you guys through just your writing. So I'm really learning to pay attention and connect in, and also just be brave and throw it out there, right? So that's sort of what you have to do, is you have to be brave a little bit too. Do the things. Being brave doesn't mean like, haha, it's like doing the things that are uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to throw yourself out there and be like, what do you think? So I'll leave you with that. EF and Will, you guys are up, and Laura M. And then I think there might have been one more person, so I just want to double check. Oh, Mariana. So just a few more questions. Sorry, KK. Thank you for hanging in here with me. Yep. So ask your questions, EF. That's good. You're very welcome, Shar. Will, you can throw your question up too if you want. Laura, go ahead and throw yours up. Mariana, go ahead and throw yours up, because then I can roll through them a little quicker instead of having the lag time. Why was I chosen for my current job? How can I leverage my own unique talents to the most successful? So literally what I heard was, because you're a badass. Because of the badass that you are, that's why you were chosen. It was something energetically that you walked in with that they chose you. It wasn't really necessarily about ticking the boxes, even though you did, because I feels like I had several candidates that were fairly similar, and it was some sort of energetic thing. And I know that sounds strange, but that's what you walked in with. You walked in with a sense of confidence and knowing that this was a good fit for you. And that's how things fall into place. So now own it. So this is another thing where they're saying it's not really about leveraging them, because they're like, if you try and make it happen, like wedge it in there to be like the best, it's like it just literally all falls apart. So they're like, don't do that. Just give it to us. It's the manifesting thing, right? Give it to us. See yourself being successful, see yourself growing. And it feels like there is room for vertical movement for you there. It doesn't. So they're like sort of saying like, just see yourself moving vertically. Don't worry about what you have to do or how you have to do it. It's like, just keep one foot in front of the other, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, and everything will fall into place. you are very intuitive. So they're sort of saying, like, in the moments that you get stuck either on an idea or how to present something, I don't know if you're in marketing or what you're doing, if you're like presenting ideas or whatever, they're sort of saying, leave it to us. Like, so move into your intuitive state. Do you oftentimes feel like, if you're in marketing, because I don't really know exactly what I'm doing here, advertising or something, it's like feeling like ideas just come to you, things just happen, and I don't really know, like, it's like a spark of intuition or genius. And they're sort of saying, like, yeah, but you're open to that. So they're like, just be open to that. Don't feel like you have to force it. Hi, Glenn. Maybe you stumbled upon my channel before. You should subscribe and then you don't stumble. I don't know if I have a celebrity look-alike. I don't think I've ever been told I look like anybody, except for somebody told me I look like one time. I can't think of her name. She was in An Officer and a Gentleman, and also, what was that cowboy movie with John Travolta? You might not be old enough for that. Oh, that's right. You're a nurse. Sorry. So your unique talent. So it feels like, I forgot that. See, I forget things. It just feels like channeling what it is that you need to do. I still am holding true with it. I already told you that you were going to move up, didn't I, in your reading? That I felt like you were going to like move up and then be in charge of a lot. So it just feels like, just don't worry about how it works out. Just see yourself doing it and knowing that it'll happen. So as far as getting super tongue-tied, that's like, think of that as your ego, your lower self, right? Making you get, okay. Okay. So here's what you're going to do for anxiety. First of all, you need to change the words. I'm not afraid to go to work. Even if you don't believe it right now, I'm telling you, changing the inner dialogue, it's like all those little, like, just affirmations work. They do, because it's literally your brain. Your brain is just a computer. It's just a computer, and the software is a little glitchy and it's out of date. So you just need to do an update. And so the update requires you to download new information, and the download is changing the thought process in your head and rebuilding it. And I'm telling you, if you say it over and over enough for long enough, it just sticks, where it's like, this is who I am. This is what I am. And there's going to be a period you go through where you feel kind of funny doing that, because you're going to be like, oh my God, is this like, just keep doing it. So it's, I'm extremely articulate. I always know the right things to say to patients and doctors. The procedural names and explanations and the side effects and whatever always come to me easily, knowing the right care that they need, knowing the right contacts that they need to make, right? So they may need to make physical therapy, they need to make rehab, they may need to have a social worker, they may need at-home nursing, skilled nursing afterwards, like whatever it is, getting ready for surgery, whatever they need, that always comes to me. I always know exactly what to tell them. I always know the resources that they need. It's always at my fingertips. It's always at the tip of my tongue, and I'm always able to say exactly what I need to say. My patients always comment about how comforted they are after talking to me. The doctors always comment how happy they are that I'm there, because they know that everything is taken care of and everything will always work out fine. That's another thing you need to say. The universe always has my back. Everything always works out in my favor. I'm always doing okay. I always know exactly what to say. I think I said that before. There's all kinds of things that you can say that is so much better than, oh my God, it's all going to fall apart. Worst case scenario, you don't know what to say. Oh, what do they teach you in nursing school? If you don't have the answer, there was always somebody around you or a way to find the answer. You are never alone. So as much as you think when you were in nursing school, because right when you go to graduate nursing school, you think, holy shit, my safety net is gone. I don't have my instructors here. But that's not true because there's always a safety net around you. There's a doctor that's going to know something, right? You're going to always have a more senior nurse. Well, in your case, you might not have a more senior nurse. So who do you have? You've got staff that have been there already, so they can tell you what you need to know because you're still there's like a growth curve, right? There's more senior doctors there. You've already told me, I know this is true, that there's a doctor there that loves to teach. And he's already sort of taken you under his wing. So, hey, this patient asked this, and I wasn't exactly sure what to give them for an answer. So, what do I say in the next time that comes up? Or I'm going to shoot them an email. I told them they gave me their email address or their phone number. I'm going to give them the answer, but also I want to know what to say so that I can just do this. Like you always have a safety net. So worst case scenario is never going to happen. You're not going to be shit out of luck looking like an idiot, drooling and having no answer because there's always a resource around you, right? But the best case scenario, because that's always what's going to happen to you, everything always works out in your favor. Everything always works out best case scenario. So that's one other thing you need to tell yourself. I learned that from Roxy Talks. I'm like, that is damn smart. And it's so easy to learn that. And like literally, like I have started saying, like, I always find everything on sale or I always get a discount. Everything's always cheaper than I thought that it would be, cost less, because it's a fun one. And why the fuck not? Right. And like every time I've gone to the store since I started saying that, it's been happening. It's really pretty amazing. So everything works out best case scenario. Start saying these things and build this idea into your head that it doesn't have to go to the worst case scenario. You're going to need to watch this back. Okay. And then I think that answered both of your questions. So really what you need to do is to hone your talents, right? To hone your talents is to believe in yourself more. So change the inner dialogue, download the information that you need. Okay? You didn't lose a safety net at all. All right. Will, did you write your question? Let me see. Laura did. Thank you. I was wondering if my grandpa is coming through. No. What is your grandfather's name, Will? As my financial situation look this year, I've been through some changes in the past year. While I'm waiting on you, Will, I'm going to go. Oh, here we go, John. Was he the one? Maybe he was coming through before, but you deleted. Did he have like a throat issue, a smoking issue? Or even maybe like a lymph issue, but it's something like where I feel like I'm starting to close off. Wait, John Stewart? Which is it? Is it John or is it Stewart? First half of his life, heavy smoker. But which am I looking at, John or Stewart? I feel like whatever he had, though, even if he was, oh, okay, like John Stewart, like the comedian or the political commentary guy, whichever you want to call it. He's funny. I feel like whatever he had, though, with the smoking ended up having like something like COPD, where I would have, even if I quit smoking, whatever, I ended up having a lung issue. I usually only need a first name, by the way. I also feel like this is so weird. A hard of hearing, but he's specifically, I know these are weird things, but this is like, look, I don't know him from Adam, and I need to figure out how to connect him to. his ears, he's showing me his ears, so I felt a little bit of hard of hearing, but I also see, like, hair growing out of my ears, so did he not groom his ears? And no judgment, but he's showing me this, so, okay. Literally no judging that because 'cause I'm just going by what he's showing me. And it's, like, focused on so I don't know if it was kind of a joke about his ears maybe even being a little bit big and having this thing, and it feels like I'm hard of hearing, but I'm so fucking proud that I refuse to get a hearing aid, and so he's just either missing a lot or going, "What?" Like, yells, talks loud, and it was even a joke about, like, his TV is loud, it's like everything is, like I feel like even jokes about sneaking up on him, like, I feel like there was a nice rapport about joking, like, a lot of joking back and forth. Okay. So he's good. He can hear now. Because I can hear a pin drop now. He has, like, a big smile and a big laugh, and he said, because he's kinda talking to me a little bit, and he's like, "This is fun, I didn't know," like, in life, he didn't like, he had like, I feel like he's had fun in life, I don't feel like he's a crotchety old man or anything like that, but I feel like he didn't really believe in the spiritual stuff, so it's that feeling of, like, I didn't know all of this stuff, like so you know how I said, I think the world is a really magical place, and I think there's some really, really amazing and beautiful things about this world that I fucking think the world is magical, like, even with all the mess, I think it's really fucking magical and amazing, and it's sort of like him going, "I didn't get it." Like, I didn't get how amazing it is. And it's sort of like it's just really cool for him to be able to sit in and connect with you this way. He's making me feel like he's showing me his like, I don't know if he had dentures that didn't fit right or what, like, you take them out because he's showing me without dentures, and he's kind of like the way he's eating, he eats the way my stepmother's mother used to eat, like, she'd breathe real heavy through her nose, like, look, he's not the classiest dude around, but he's really funny. Like, that's the feeling I get. Not so classy, but just, like, such a good guy, like, it's like he'd give you the shirt off of his back. So if you're wondering, he's good. I feel like I'm okay with how he passed or whatever, just the feeling is like you just wanting to connect in because you loved him so much. He's good, he's around, and he's definitely still the same, like, funny, bold personality. Does this resonate with you? That's what was the feeling, is like your favorite grandpa. I don't know if he joked with you this way, he goes, "You are my favorite too, but don't tell anybody else." Were you, like, the only grandson? It's just a feeling like you had something very special. Um, Only grandson, okay, because it's like that's, like, the feeling, it's like you're the only one, and it's very different than anybody else, so I'm very glad that he came through, and he came through so clearly for you tonight. You're very welcome. I'm reading yours, Mariana, and then I just want to make sure. Did I get Laura's? I can't remember if I read Laura's. Did I actually answer it? I read it, Laura. Did I actually answer your question? I don't think I did. I'm sorry, dear. Sometimes spirit goes, I'm coming in. Okay, so Mariana, I'm going to answer yours in just a second. Laura, your financial situation this year. So they're showing me things looking up in May. So it feels like I'm going up like this, and then it sort of stalls and goes flat beyond that. I don't feel like I can't pay my bills. I don't feel like I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul or moving things around. And I don't feel like I'm like, we're in the money. That kind of feeling. I feel like I'm okay. Like, so I start doing better and things look up, and then I kind of, it does this. It looks like a sawtooth to me. So kind of going up and down and up and down. So there may be, going up, but I feel like I'm doing better than I was now. And it's a gradual rise. I have this pen that I write in my book with my manifesting journal with. And it's one of those, like, it's like a flat tip, like almost like a calligraphy. I don't remember what they're called, but I just like them. I like the way they look when they write, but inky finger. The list is closed, Carrie. I'm back every Sunday night. It's Valentine's Day and I'm here. So come back. So I feel like, again, I don't know if I don't like see a big drop of money at any point, but it just feels like gradually going up, and it feels like, like this, like almost not straight up, but a pretty good rise until May. And then I feel like I'm going up and down, like really fine sawtooth comb through the rest of the year. Okay. 8:30 p.m. Sunday at 8:30 p.m. I can't make it here by 8. Please, I struggle to get here by 8:30. And KK is with us every Sunday night. She's a gem. Don't apologize, please. I just think it's funny. In which school do I see your daughter, Maya, next year? She doesn't like her school that she's in right now. We don't want her to return to public school. So you don't give away too much information about your daughter, can you just tell me, like, if one school, like the school she's in, what the first initial of the school is, and then the other options? Because that's like to say what school she's going to be in, and then like there's so many potential possibilities. I do feel like it'll be another private school. I don't feel like it's the one she's in now. It feels like another Catholic school, and it doesn't feel like it's far away. But I don't know, like, so if you could. You're welcome, Laura. I don't know. I looked at my husband and said, because I think Valentine's Day is just like, I don't know why, because it's super commercial. I'm never been really into Valentine's Day. I liked it when I was a kid because I like the candy. Let's be honest. I was like, don't give me anything. I don't care. Give me flowers and candy and stuff. That's fine. I don't really need a lot. I was all excited about, he ordered pizza for lunch and it was in a heart shape. I'm a simple girl. I'll manifest the shit I want. Okay. Mariana, are you here? Are you here? Because you're my last one. So can you give me, like, so if it's like, I heard St. Pius, but I don't know if that's a school around here. But so, like, if it's like one starts with a P and one starts with an M, I'd be going to the school with the P. Like, it just feels like I'm going to go to a private school around me. It feels a private Catholic school, and it feels like nearby. Like, I don't feel like I'm driving an hour to get there. I feel like it might be in the opposite direction of the way I was going, but it's about the same distance. It doesn't sound very helpful. It's another private school. It feels like a Catholic school. And it feels like, so I don't know if you know if there's a St. Pius or something like that, or a P or St. Pete's or something with a P. That's the way I would be pulled. Like, it feels like I might be at a St. Mary's or a St. Michael's right now because it's an M. And I'm like, when I think of another M name, I don't feel pulled that way, but I heard St. Pius, so it might be a P. I don't know how much the lag time is here. Is it bad? Because I feel like I'm waiting like 5 minutes in between. I do feel like it'll be another private. We don't know if we should pursue a new school or make her stay in the current. I don't feel like you'll make her stay. I feel like it will be a new school. I feel a lot of anxiety around the current school, like a lot of anxiety, not just like, oh, I don't like it. I don't like the teachers. Like, I feel a lot of anxiety attached to being there. Also, reminder, because it's that feeling of like not really fitting in and not really understanding my place, like almost feeling like I don't fit in public school. I don't fit in this school. Is there something wrong with me? She's gonna find her place in the world, and she just needs to remember that like there's a reason vibrationally she's not fitting with the people she is, but she will find a place where she fits. Is the school she at have an M in it as a starting? Excuse me. Sorry. I'm hoping I sleep through the night tonight. It's been several nights. I keep waking up between around 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up for a while. Dear spirit, leave me alone to sleep because I'm a crabby bitch when I don't get enough sleep. Does the M name for the current school make sense? Because I want to know. I want to like feel like I'm getting this, that I'm giving the right information, that I'm connecting in. So does the M name for the current school make sense, even if it's like Saint M or I don't know, Mount Mary? I don't know all the there's I'm gonna work on KK's while I'm waiting for Mariana to answer that. How do you put yourself out there? Wait, yes, what? The M name? There's an M in it? Then it feels like I go to like a P. Like, so I don't know if there's a St. Pius here. I know in Houston there's a St. Pius. But I don't know if it's a girls' school or a boys' school, to be honest with you. I can't remember. But it feels like a P name. So Patrick's, Peter, Pius, like, and it feels like a Catholic school. It's a C name. Wherever it is, it's not an M name because it feels like new M name, not there. So, I do feel like she'll switch schools. I don't feel like she'll stay in the same one. And I don't because I keep asking about homeschooling, like as being a potential. I actually feel like it feels like she has only like not a lot left that she has to do for credits to graduate. It feels very like I feel like not needing a lot to graduate. Oh, no, don't pay for a question, Natalia. The list is closed. We're not taking any more questions, but I am back next week. So if you subscribe and hit the bell, you'll know when I go live, and it's at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time every week. If you've paid, I'm gonna go ahead and refund your money, but I want you to come back next week. It's just I have to sort of set a limit of who and when and what and all of that stuff. I don't necessarily feel like homeschooling, but it just for whatever it feels like she doesn't have that much left. Like I know it's senior year, but it's like taking a lot of extra credits or whatever. Does that make any sense? Name corner. I don't know. It feels like a Catholic school. You know, Catholic schools have been doing very well during the pandemic because people are pulling their kids out of public schools and sending them to Catholic schools. A Pennington we were told to look into, a P name. That's it. Look into that. I feel like that's where she'll end up going and feel comfortable. And it feels like finding a really like it doesn't feel like I find a group. It feels like I find one person that it's just like really I connect with really well there. Told you it was a P name. All right, so I'm gonna leave you guys with this. KK. Okay, wait, sorry. I know this sounds silly, but it does feel like you meet somebody through an app or through messaging because I feel like we kind of I don't necessarily feel like I'm meeting them through work, but it feels like developing a friendship like through messaging and being open to it. Just be open to it. You're welcome. I hope everybody has a wonderful week. If you're in America, happy President's Day. It's another sale. Oh, I'm such an asshole. Just kidding. I'm not. And if you're in Canada, please stay warm. If you're in Texas, because I know some of you are in Texas, be safe. Stay home tomorrow. You don't need to go anywhere. I know there's a lot of people in Texas who don't have proper winter gear. I've seen people, I remember being down there and seeing people wearing comforters while they're waiting for the bus, like bed comforters. So stay warm, everybody. Take care of yourselves, love yourselves. Remember that the love needs to come from within. That is like the healthiest way. Heal that love first, and then the love around you becomes healthier. Recognize the small amounts of love around you. You can find me and get private readings at myspiritualfriend.com. I'm on Twitter. It's all through My Spiritual Friend. I'm pretty easy to find. I've got a butterfly symbol. And apparently I look like a celebrity. Just kidding. Have a good week. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.